And we're live, week 2. Hey everybody, I'm Becky. You may remember me from last week if you were at our baby shower last week. Joining us on the live event tonight, we have the fantastic Brianne. She is one of our wildlife rehabbers. She'll be answering all of your questions in the chat below, so make sure you say hello to her. We also have another wonderful wildlife rehabber, Melanie. She's going to be in with our animals and myself this evening. A little bit of housekeeping before we get started tonight. If you're already watching in the chat, say hello. Tell us where you're watching from. We would love to see if anyone's watching from overseas, different cities maybe. Make sure you say hello in the chat below. So starting right now until 9 p.m. this evening, the first 10 donors of $25 or more are going to be given or sent in the mail a special thank you gift for donating. And that's going to be the dedicated donation link that Brianne's going to pop into the chat below. So through that donation link. Also this month, the top 3 donors through that dedicated donation link will also be sent an extra special thank you in the mail. I think last week our 50-50 was up to about, $1,500. Right now we're sitting at about $2,400. So make sure you get your 50-50 raffle tickets. Brianne will pop that link in the chat below as well. We still have 2 weeks to get that up to 20 grand. So the more tickets you buy, the better. What else? I haven't told you who we're gonna see today. We're seeing 2 siblings. They're smart, they're witty, they're intelligent, they are ravens. So without further ado, I am going to turn you over to the fantastic and wonderful, I hope I don't drop the phone, Melanie. Hey Mel, how's it going?
Hi, great.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Yeah, thanks for doing this tonight.
No problem.
So we're seeing ravens.
Yes.
I hear that you're a raven lover just like I am.
I am.
Can you give us some fast facts about ravens?
I certainly can. Sorry, they're distracting me right now because they're knocking on the side of the door.
It's almost coming in, guys.
Yeah, so ravens are actually the biggest of the songbirds. They're related to magpies, blue jays, and crows. And they're opportunistic animals. They're omnivores, so that means they eat everything. And they take advantage of whatever food they can pretty much find. They're also highly adaptable to different habitats as well, and they're highly intelligent.
So when you're saying that they're an intelligent animal, like what does that mean? Can you give a bit more, like some examples of what the intelligence is?
Yeah. So to give some comparison, they have the intelligence level of a 7-year-old human child. So they're pretty intelligent. They problem solve. They use tools for getting food. You'll often see baby ravens, especially these guys too. We've watched them practice this behavior where they play with sticks and they build up that dexterity so they can use tools for finding food. Like again, when they problem solve, they hunt in groups. So they will coordinate hunts and hunt together. They can mimic songbird voices, or songs I should say, and human voices. And then they also have face recognition, this is the coolest thing. They have face recognition, so they remember your face. And so if you're ever unkind to a raven, they will never forget that.
Oh my gosh, I have to flip over for a second. You heard that? If you're ever unkind to a raven, they will remember. So this is your warning. Always be nice to ravens. That was a good tip, Mel. Thank you.
No problem.
Before we started this live, we were just having a little chat in our business office about interesting story. Mel had seen some ravens. I think it was out in Ontario.
Yes, it was.
Can you share that story with us? I think that our viewers would love to hear that.
Yeah, so just to point out the intelligence level and just how they problem solve. Once I actually personally witnessed this in Ontario in a cemetery. I was live trapping for a wildlife project, and there was chestnut trees. They were picking up the chestnuts, flying them out to the road and dropping them on the road. And I was like, what are they doing? And they were actually waiting because there was a trucking company down the road. So they wait until these trucks would come over, crack the nuts open, and then they go back and pick up the nuts.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
We're getting a load of comments. Janice Johnson is saying, hey, I love ravens. Gary Evans is saying ravens are cool. Yeah, we love ravens too.
Yeah.
One last question before we head in, Mel. Why do we have these particular 2 siblings in our care?
Yeah, so these guys came to us through a contractor that had a permit. So they were contacted about a nest that needed to be removed. So the nest was brought to us with all of the siblings, and we're rearing them until they're ready for soft release.
Fantastic. And I'm just going to flip back to me just for a second. I forgot to mention what our fundraising goal this year is. I'm sorry, I was so excited to come in to see the Ravens. So we are trying to get to $30,000 this year, essentially for 1 month in the summer to feed our patients. Feed and medicate, it costs us about $10,000. So for 3 months, it's about $30,000. So that's our goal for this year's fundraiser. So we're hoping with the 50-50 and all those donation opportunities and stuff, we'll be able to get to that goal. We're gonna be heading in now. We're gonna be silent, same as last week. We try to keep our voices low, which is, standard wildlife rehab protocol, just to not stress out the animals and to prevent them from becoming habituated to the sounds of our voices. But Brianne will be in the chat popping in tons of information. And we are in the process right now of weaning these two. So there's a chance that they're not gonna come as close to us as they had in the past, but that's okay. You're still going to be able to see them close up. Maybe they'll sing some songs from us. So we're going in, we'll be silent, but we'll see you back in about 5 minutes, I think. All right, here we go.
Okay, let's head in. I think we might see them feeding because they're, right here by the door knocking.
What a show. We even got some singing, we got some songs. It was beautiful.
Yeah. That's some of the behavior you saw where they came back for some food, and then they go over to different corners and they were kind of stashing food. That's a natural behavior that they have, and they would do that in the wild as well. So once they filled up, they take, they'll come back and get little bits of food, and then they stash it in different places so they can go back and get it later.
That's amazing. So they're gorgeous animals.
Yeah.
Could you, I know there's a lot of myths out there about ravens. Are there any that we could try to dispel tonight for our viewers?
Yeah, I think, well, just a general myth in overall about baby birds is that if a baby bird falls out of its nest, that you can't put it back into the nest, that the parents will reject it. That's false. In terms of directly related to ravens, ravens are, you know, in mythology right across the northern hemisphere. So they're revered in some cultures and they're looked upon as very, very positive animals. And then some cultures look at them as kind of evil. Actually a group of ravens is called an unkindness. So that's where that comes from, is that they're very unkind and that they're evil. And you can see that they're definitely not. They're beautiful little animals.
They're very kind indeed. So a few more questions before we end it for this evening. From when these guys come into our care to when we release them, how long is that? And I guess the comparison between how long they stay with their families in the wild.
Yeah, so they're with us for approximately 4 months. They can stay with their family for a very long time, from months to years. So it just depends on that family unit. What we do is we have them here for 4 months. We prepare them to be released kind of at the end of August, and we always do a soft release with ravens. So we make sure that we have a site that's selected that can be monitored, and then we continue to put out food and we have shelter there for them until we know that they're going to be okay and they're going to survive on their own.
And so we've had these guys from the beginning of May, so to the end of August, 4 or 5 months. How long do you think how much do you think it'll cost for us to care for a raven until we release it back out into the wild?
Yeah, so since they're omnivores, they're eating meat, they're eating berries and produce and eggs. We go through a lot of eggs with these guys. You're looking at approximately $10 per day per raven. So a guesstimate is about $1,200 per raven.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that is a perfect segue. Thanks, Mel. Back to me. So that's about, $2,500 just for those 2 birds. So this is your opportunity to help us with these amazing animals by donating to our baby shower this year. So again, the dedicated donation link should be in the chat below. Brianne would have popped it in there. Remember, the first 10 donors of $25 or more from now until 9 p.m. tonight will get a special thank you in the mail. Top 3 donors of the month through that dedicated donation link will get an extra special thank you in the mail, and the 50/50 tickets on sale for another 2 weeks. We want to get that pot as high as we can. So please help us to reach our goal of $30,000 this month. What else? What's next? Next Wednesday, same place, same time. I think we're doing skunks. Stinking cute. They're adorable. That's what's on the docket right now. So make sure that you click that you're attending the event. It helps us with the algorithm, the Facebook algorithm. Share with your family. Share with your friends. Get your tickets. And I think that's it. Is that it, Mel? Everything? That's good for us?
I think
All
that's
right.
good, yeah.
I think that's it for us tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. And hopefully we'll see you next Wednesday. Same place, same time. Stinking cute skunks. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.